Yeah. We could chat about it after.
What?
Yeah, he might still come later. So.
I can't hear the question. So.
Oh, right.
Because you guys have a workshop coming up on the 23rd already. So it could be something that could be added to that.
We do that instead.
And Dan said he could come if he was needed to help.
Okay. I forgot to pay attention every week.
All right.
Oh, we're ready.
Meeting to order, and these are all folks here for
All
the
right.
title.
Union High School District, Thursday, May 12th. And we do not have Mr. Huber or Ms. Hall are absent today. I'd like to start with Brandon. Would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Right, the board had met in closed session and there is no action taken. All right. Oh, there's an announcement at meeting protocol. I don't know the announcement though.
It's on there. It's already on there.
It's on.
No, on the board docs.
Board docs.
Oh, I gotta read it there.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, meeting protocols. Here we go. Okay. There's an opportunity to speak to the Board of Trustees on items that are not on the agenda, and an opportunity to speak to items on the agenda when the item comes up for consideration. If you'd like to comment, you may fill out a form that's located in the back of the room, and we will call on you when it's your turn to speak. If 1 to 9 members of the public wish to comment on agenda or non-agenda items, the timeline for public comments will remain to 3 minutes per person, and if 10 or more members of the public wish to comment on agenda or non-agenda items, the timeline for public comments will be 1.5 minutes or 90 seconds. And a complaint about a specific employee or employees of the district shall be made to that employee's immediate supervisor or the principal as required by board policy and the administrative regulation. And the meeting is being audio and video recorded. I do have a speaker card for public comment, and that is for Miss Karen Combest. Are you here, Miss Karen Combest? Where are you? Hello. Would you like to come up? Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Karen Combest, and I have a daughter at Oakmont High School. And I have a couple things I just wanted to cover. First of all, I attended with my daughter the Oakmont Junior Academic Merit Awards last night, and it was so nice to see like a normal event where we were inside in a theater and everyone had the opportunity to wear their mask if they chose to or not. But it was great to see like a ritual, a tradition, and I had to drag my daughter there because well, because she didn't want to go, and she thought she should focus on her essay for AP Lang. But I was happy to be able to celebrate that success along with other parents and students. And I think some of our students and parents, in fact, have forgotten about some of the rituals, and I think it's really just great to see. So that's definitely a positive. One of the things I'm not so happy about today, not a happy customer of Roseville Joint today, not a happy client, whatever you want to call me. As a parent, been working on Lauren's schedule for her senior year next year. And first of all, Lauren's counselor, Ms. Lacoste, is the best one at Oakmont, in my opinion. She's fabulous. She's given us all the time and attention, but she only really has so much time and attention for each student. And so there's a lot of other work that the parents need to do to help that student, from my perspective. And Lauren has, high goals. She, wants to get into college, and the UCs are on her list. And so GPAs are super important. Course rigor is super important. I mean, I've been through this once before. I paid someone highly to consult with us this time around. We're leveraging that information as well as all the new information that's come out in the last couple of years of how college admissions has changed. And I've studied that. I understand what is needed for that. And so when I look at Lauren's class schedule for next year, I'm shocked at what's limited. And, she really needs to have a strong fall quarter, which we've now finagled fall semester. And that leaves her with very little options for electives, which I think is a reflection of something that Jessica Fork said last meeting about funding and the effects of that. And all I know is, we're working through the schedules and trying to figure out if she's going to take weight training with a bunch of sweaty boys or guitar, which she has zero musical ability. So I'm like him, she just take 2 periods off and go get a class to see her college. Well, apparently not. And why is that? Because of funding. Because there's an ed code, a policy 414, I can give you the code. Anyway, it exists because kids have to be on campus in order to get funding for 3 hours, which 2 periods are less than that. So anyway, I'm struggling with understanding as a customer and a client where the focus is on accommodating the needs. And I think in the district, we're so focused on funding. I kind of see it as like a wheel. There's funding that drives programs, that drives classes, that drives the teachers and their needs and their numbers and their professional development, that funds the results and the success, which funnels into student enrollment, which it's this big circular thing. I think perhaps if you put students and teachers at the top with results at the bottom, and then the funding and the programs supporting that instead of the other way around, the district would be in a much better position for the long term, because as we've seen, there are alternatives to public education in this area in particular. There's a lot of alternatives. And if we're not focused on what the students and therefore the parents want as your customers, you're going to start seeing more and more leave to go find those elsewhere. And I would hate to see that happen, but I know it's already started. And again, we're slaves to funding in this district, and I just think the narrative needs to shift a little bit and maybe focus more on teachers and students and what their needs are. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to call up a second speaker, Pastor Casey Timmon.
Hello, everyone. My name is Pastor Casey Timmon. I'm the pastor of Loomis Basin Congregational Church, United Church of Christ, and the founder of the Landing Spot, which is a support group for LGBT teenagers and their parents in this community. I have been here for 10 years, and I have been working in your schools for 5, actually. And so I'm here to do 2 things. One, how much time? 3 minutes. Thank you for that. One, to invite you to a town hall meeting that's going to happen next Monday at my church to hear from young adults who have lived in this community and have had their education, all of their education in this community, and the impact it made on them as LGBT teenagers, now young adults. And we also will be hearing from teenagers themselves. We also will be hearing from Catherine, I'm blanking on her name now, but she is the founder of the Family Acceptance Project. Some of you probably have heard that name recently, as Granite Bay Wellness Center had released a newsletter that was then revoked and then took back, etc., etc. One of the things that I want to share with you about the Family Acceptance Project, I was given 10 points, but I want to honor the time today. Mostly to say that that the Family Acceptance Project was on a list of many other resources to help LGBT teenagers in Placer County, especially for Granite Bay students. The issue was that the LDS community felt like they were being called out, but actually, in fact, that video, that small clip that you all have heard about, I'm sure, was just a clip of a trailer of a documentary, a 20-minute documentary that was supported by many LDS people and has been used in many LDS communities. This project was not meant to create hate or to create negativity towards those who are Mormon, but in fact to help them navigate how to keep their children alive. The Family Acceptance Project is one of the most well-known organizations in the nation in keeping queer kids alive. And that's what we're trying to do here in Placer County with the Landing Spot, the only resource for queer kids. We are trying to keep these young people alive and give them a hope and future. That's what we're trying to do. And it is difficult. I will tell you that at Granite Bay High School, I spoke at their GSA in March. There were 50 kids there. Half of them were Mormon. And they came up to me, many of them after, and said, I am afraid to tell my truth. I am suicidal. I am depressed. And so I really want to commend the Wellness Center for their courage to continue to stand by our students. And I think as educators, as the board, that is my invitation for you too, to stand by your students. There are a lot of places. Oh, 3 minutes is up. Thank you very much. I am a pastor, so I preach often. Sorry about that.
Can you
These are
mention?
flyers for you.
Yeah, can you mention the date and time
Yes,
again?
yes, I can. Thank you. This meeting will be held May 16th at Loomis UCC, which is in Loomis, 6440 King Road, from 5:30 to 7. I'm going to leave these flyers here. You're welcome to take one. I would love to see some of you there. I will be here. You know, you can email me anytime to talk about what I'm experiencing, because there is a major need. This is not something that we should take lightly. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? No? Okay. Seeing none, I'm going to move on to communications 3.4.
No communications.
No communications. All right. Item 3.5. This is a wonderful opportunity. We're going to do the recognition of the student board reps.
Right there.
Am I doing that? I'm doing that. Oh, I'm doing this. Okay. Yay, I love this part.
Then you can take a picture.
And I'm going to take a picture while I'm taking my glasses off. All right, let's come out here. I will start with, who's here? Brandon.
Well, do you want me to stand out?
Yeah, why not?
Great.
All right, Brandon, it has been a privilege having you on this board and serving as a student representative. Thank you for your participation and for showing up and for sharing all the work that's being done tonight. I wish you all the greatest of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It was a
Take a
pleasure.
picture. Scoot over just
Yeah.
which way? That. Let's hold that.
I'll hold it. There we go. There we go.
1, 2, 3. Awesome. Thank you. And Elizabeth. This is year 2, right? Yes, it is. All right, Elizabeth. Congratulations. Thank you so much for all the work that you've done on behalf of the students at Coastal Drayton Union School District. It's been a pleasure having you. Take care. And I'm going to ask, I'm going to put you both on the spot. Sorry, I didn't tell you this. I'm going to ask both of you, if you were to give one piece of advice as to future board members, student board members, what would you give them to, and why to be part of this board, the student board member?
Gosh. Do I speak into here?
Yes.
All right. Gosh, she really put me on the spot with that one. I mean, no, you're good. You're really good.
Okay, you can go first.
No, right, exactly. I'll give you time to think. I'd say really for like advice coming from me who's done this 3 times, I'd say share a lot about what's going on at your school, because this is a board meeting with people from all around of our district, and from someone who's coming from one school, I feel very privileged to be able to speak about everything that's going on at my school. So just try to get as much information as you can as possible during these board meetings, because it's really it's a very good broadcasting thing for someone to get up here and to talk about everything going on at their school. And I'm very privileged I get the chance to do it. So, yeah.
This is my second year as a student rep for Independence High School, and I feel like the best advice I could give to whoever does it next is take every opportunity to come to each meeting and participate. Be present. be the person that is willing to go without complaints and show up and do your job.
Thank you both. Yeah, it's been a pleasure having you both. It's wonderful to have student voice on this board and to hear from you all on the issues that we're all having to decide and get your questions, to us and help us be better board members. So thank you so much for your service. I know it's a lot extra on top of what you already have to do. So appreciate the work you've done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, hey, it's your turn. Student board rep report.
You want to go first? Okay, I'm going first again. All right. Yeah, of course. So yeah, I guess I'll speak again. So for those of you who I haven't had a chance to really speak to yet, my name is Brandon Dolan. I've had the privilege of serving as the student body president at Granite Bay High School. I want to appreciate all of you guys for being here. I especially want to appreciate the pastor for coming here and speaking about something that's going on at Granite Bay. I think you're doing really good work over there for people who need it. And then, yeah, so I get this time to talk about everything that's going on at Granite Bay a little bit. So it was 2 weeks ago since I was up here last, and I think the biggest thing that has been going on around our campus is AP tests. Everybody loves them. I'm just kidding. But I don't think anyone does, but I mean, but those are wrapping up, and I feel like that's a good indicator of, that the year's coming to a close. When you finally get done with your AP tests and the year's coming to a close, it's going great. Like one of the public commentators said earlier today, the first one, she was talking about how good it was to have like kind of a normality in our year again, and I kind of made me realize we're really having like a normal end to our year this time. We're gonna have like a bunch of events recognizing our senior class. We're gonna have rallies outdoors again, normal graduation. It's all really, really great to have that all back coming over the span of the next month at school. Yeah, other things that are going on right now. Last Saturday actually was a very big day for the senior class. We had our senior ball. We didn't get a junior prom last year, so it was very great to have our first dance to our dedicated to our own class of 2022. I went there myself. It was held in Sacramento at the Grand Sheraton Hotel. It was a beautiful venue, great food, great dancing, and it was a great night altogether. Yeah, I think that's everything going on at Granite Bay High School. Like I said, as we're starting to wind down things and starting to close off this school year, I think things are just going really well at the school. And yeah, I'm excited to be able to walk the stage in a couple weeks. So yeah, thank you.
Hi again, I'm Elizabeth Kirkman, the Independence High School student rep. Currently at Independence, we wrapped up our final Spirit Week last week. Our theme was May Your School Spirit Be With You. It was extremely positive, extremely fun. Everyone had a wonderful time. We had some fun events, and we are really just in prep for finishing up finals and getting all of that done and graduation. I do want to give a shout out to Antelope for their amazing dance show. It was sold out, and I heard it was extremely wonderful. So if you have the opportunity next year to go and watch that, that'd be really awesome.
Thank you very much. The last report. All right, thanks you guys. All right, committee reports 3.7. None?
We haven't met since the last meeting.
Oh,
We've been lazy.
okay. I will give, yeah, that's what I've heard about you guys. I'll just give a quick overview. So Scott and I were able to attend the SILT meeting. It's really not our committee. It's a committee that we observe, I guess you could say. And I wanted to give just a really recognition to Jen Layton, who is running that and running it very well and trying to pull together after how many years of being in COVID and trying to go from what we used to have to something new and inventive and getting a lot of involvement and a lot of feedback and trying to prepare everybody for those. So I'm enjoying SILT, the new revised SILT, and I look forward to the path and the trajectory you take it on. So thank you. We talked about several things which are showing up on our agenda, came up in consent today, which are some of the courses and the readings of some of the texts. So thank you. That is all of my report. And we've already done public comment. I went out of order. Okay. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to? Sure.
And I don't want to pull anything. Every meeting we have item 4.6, the donations and gifts to the district, and we pass them, but we never really acknowledge them. And am I not talking loud enough? No one's ever accused me of that before, Isabel. So we approve all these donations to our schools and our sites, and we don't always acknowledge them because they go through the consent calendar. But I was thinking about it today, and I went back and looked at a bunch. We get a lot of donations every month. So I just wanted to say, for all you millions of people out there watching on the internet, we appreciate these donations you've been sending to us. Thanks.
Great.
I have some comments and you guys to just pull 4.1 or 4.16.
Okay, sorry, which ones are you pulling?
Just 4.16.
4.16?
Yes.
Okay.
Make a motion on the rest.
Yes, but I'm happy to make a motion on the rest.
Okay, so I think there's a motion from Pete on the consent agenda with removal of 4.16 to move to action or discussion. Do I have a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please say yes. Oh no, it's roll call.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Thanks.
P. Constant,
Yep.
Marla France.
Yes.
And Julie Rhoda.
Yes. All right, motion passes. Thank you, Barbara. Item 5.1, Information Matters, Title IX 50th Anniversary Celebration. Looking forward to this.
Some of our students,
No, I'm
if
gonna
they
pull it
don't
in it.
mind doing crisscross applesauce, or we're trying to get as many in.
Yeah, they
Would
can
you
do
mind?
Yeah, we usually do that. Have them sit.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Crisscross applesauce?
Been a long time.
Eat up here or just not part of this?
Keep coming, keep coming. Anywhere up front is fine. I want to take a picture of this.
And then Terrence, if you might be able to hear better over on that side, yeah. Or you want to look? There's some.
Mine behind the podium, ladies.
Okay, everybody, eyes up here, smile.
Picture time.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm smiling, I'm smiling. Okay, and then, sorry, this is going to be kind of silly, but can we do jazz hands too? Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay, thank you. Sorry. There we go. All yours, Mel.
All right. Well, my name is Melanie Dobson, and I'm the Executive Director of Student Engagement. And whew, I'm a little emotional looking at all these girls. Woo, thank you for being here. Trustees, Superintendent Becker, thank you for letting me present tonight and recognize the 50th anniversary of Title IX, as well as spotlight the exceptional female athletes and Roseville Joint Union High School District. I'd also like to share that we've had a reception. A few of you got cake early. It probably is gone at this point, but we might have a few treats at the end that you can jump in with. So to begin, please let me set the stage and share a quick 3-minute video with you.
On June 23rd, 1972, Richard Nixon signed Title IX into law to equalize education in the United States. We used to sit on the sidelines. We used to only be spectators. We were overlooked, undervalued. We weren't seen as profitable, as interesting, not worth the investment. In the United States shall, on the basis of participation be denied the benefits of to discrimination under any education program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. 37 words that change everything.
Thank you. No person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in or denied the benefits of,
On June 23rd, 1972.
or be subjected to. Can you go one more? Yeah. To discrimination under any education program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. Back one. Okay. In the first official participation survey following the 1971-72 school year, the National Federation of State High School Associations noted that there were approximately 3.7 million boys participating in high school athletics and just over 294,000 girls. Following the passage of Title IX, the numbers began to change dramatically, with the girls' high school participation rate increasing by more than 1,000% and growing from 294,000 to approximately 3.5 million. Females now make up 43% of high school athletes. However, what most people do not realize is that the current girls' participation numbers have never quite reached those initial 1972 boys' numbers of 3.7 million. And so our work continues in providing our female students with athletic opportunities. As we continue this work, please let me highlight some of the significant accomplishments of our 2021-22 athletic girls teams. Antelope High School, basketball and tennis. Granite Bay High School, golf, water polo, cross country, volleyball, soccer, and swim, multiple championships. Oakmont High School, tennis, water polo, soccer, track, swimming and diving, and softball. Roseville High School, softball. Wood Creek High School, tennis, and West Park, without even a senior class yet, golf and soccer. And how can we even talk about our female athletes without acknowledging Roseville High School's Evelyn Ashford and Oakmont's Summer Sanders, both Olympic athletes, and earning multiple medals. Closer to home, our very own assistant principal, Sandra Miles, led her soccer team to a championship and was named Coach of the Year. And Wood Creek High School principal Sue-Ann Bell lettered in 13 varsity sports at Roseville High School and remains one of the top scorers on the basketball team, along with Wood Creek's assistant principal, Lori Ann Donnell. And speaking of Lori Ann, I'd now like to invite her up so you can hear her story, not only as a female athlete growing up in Roseville, but as a teacher, athletic director, and administrator in the Roseville Joint Union High School District.
They needed a dinosaur to talk, so I'm here tonight. I've actually been in this district for most of a lot of years, since the fall of 1983, with a brief hiatus when I went to get my college degree. I've been an athlete, coaching, athletic director, and now assistant principal. So when I started at Roseville High School in the fall of 1983, I didn't know what Title IX was. But I did notice there were differences in the experiences that my brother had compared to my own. I was jealous of the really cool uniforms his teams got to wear, while our basketball team had hand-me-downs from the softball team that had sleeves and collars. You can see those right on that far right-hand picture there. Those were really nice and thick polyester. In fact, we didn't have our own shorts, so we had to go purchase our own from Big Five. His basketball teams practiced in the boys' gym while we practiced in the older and smaller girls' gym. Our softball team didn't have a fence or a scoreboard like the baseball team, but I never really thought about that. That was just how things were back then, and honestly, I was just happy to be able to play. Things began to change my sophomore year when Roseville hired a young basketball coach named Dennis Haggerty. He worked with the boys' coach. His name was Paul Gonzalez, who had a daughter who played on my team with me, and they came up with a new plan to share the big gym and equal have practice time in there. He got the school to purchase us new uniforms, so we got rid of the collars. That was nice. He even recruited some boys to be sideline cheerleaders for us and purchase uniforms for them, and they were so fun. We actually had bigger crowds than the boys for a good span of my time at Roseville High School. We won 3 league championships in basketball, 2 section basketball championships, got to play at Arco Arena and Oakland Coliseum, and we're truly treated like royalty on the campus and around town because we were such a small community at that point. It was such a big deal and so much fun. My experiences in both softball and basketball at Roseville shaped who I am today. It wasn't as much the uniforms and the facilities, although those were really cool to have. It was the relationships with my teammates and coaches. I had 3 coaches in Art Banks, Dennis Haggerty, and Paul Gonzalez, who were not only coaches but father figures for me and my teammates. Their influence on my life led me into education and athletics. I can only hope that I had that same kind of influence on the kids that I coached at Wood Creek. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to attend Art Banks' last league game at the beautiful Roseville softball facility. I'm jealous of them, by the way. Art was my coach for 4 years, and and then I had the chance to coach with him at Wood Creek, and then I followed in his steps as athletic director at Wood Creek. A group of my old teammates also attended the game. And although I hadn't seen some of those teammates in over 30 years, our conversations immediately went back to our high school memories, like the many times we toilet papered Art's house and adamantly denied it, or the time we commandeered keys to his Jeep and drove it around the softball field with him chasing us on foot. There actually wasn't one conversation about wins and losses yesterday, because we know it's not the wins and losses that matter, it's the relationships. Those last forever. So even though I didn't really know what Title IX was until I was in college, I know now how much I benefited from that legislation. It opened up opportunities that I wouldn't have had if it weren't for sports. It's why I'm in the position I'm in today. It helped me to establish some of the best relationships that still exist in my life. Mel alluded a little bit to this, but my all-time favorite teammate was Sue-Ann Bell, our current principal. She was our point guard, and luckily she didn't like to shoot very much, and I did, so it really worked out well for me. I'm so grateful for all those that paved the road for me and the athletes sitting here in our district, including my amazing niece, Maggie Donnell, who's not here, but she's practicing for Powder Puff, I guess. Important stuff. And she's currently a Roseville Tiger. Thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of the benefits that Title IX has provided so many of us. I look forward to continuing the growth of opportunities for all athletes in the Roseville Joint Union High School District.
Thank you, Lorianne. As I close tonight, I'd like to acknowledge our female athletes who earned an athletic scholarship and those who are recognized as top performers in their sport. There are far too many to read, but please take your time in perusing each slide and recognizing the names. I'm proud of these athletes and I wish them all the best in their future endeavors, whether it be in high school next year again or in college and beyond. So if we could have Antelope High School athletes, coaches, administrators, teachers, anybody representing Antelope, if you can stand up. These are the Antelope High School Scholarship athletes and top performers. Thanks for being here tonight. Granite Bay High School scholarship athletes. Anyone from Granite? I know we have our administrator here from Granite Bay. Oh, okay. We'll give Sarah a hand. Oakmont High School Scholarship Athletes Top Performers. Come on. Roseville High School Scholarship Athletes Top Performers. And Wood Creek High School Scholarship Athletes Top Performers. And finally, West Park High School, our top performers, and hopefully next year some scholarship athletes as well. Thank you for your time tonight. I'm honored to recognize our student athletes, our coaches, our athletic directors, our administrators, all that are here tonight. I am honored to recognize them and acknowledge them for their hard work all year long to support these athletes. Next year, I hope to present these outstanding student athletes, both male and female, to you on a regular basis so that you can continue to be impressed with our amazing students and our athletic programs. Thank you, and don't forget your cake.
Thank you for that amazing presentation. Before you ladies leave, hang on just a second. I want to congratulate all of you for being here and for participating. I think RJUHSD has a really special athletic program and really dedicated coaches and volunteers and boosters and all the students that really make it a very special place to play and participate in sports. And the sports teams just continue to grow and grow and grow. And women's athletics here is outstanding. We have such a great women's athletics program overall and a real strong participation. I think it's a really special place. I'm actually 51 years old, so I'm almost Title IX and I are about the same age. And I remember the courage it took for some of my coaches to want to coach girls sports and really want to start developing girls sports in my high school. So I'm so happy to see it's advanced so far. And so it kind of breaks me up too, because there's so many more sports options for women now. And congratulations to all of you. I think high school sports is some of the best times it was of my life. I'm sure it will be memories for all of you as well. Would anybody else like to say anything?
I'd definitely like to. I'm proud to be the father of 5 athletes, but even more proud that 4 of them are girls, or women, young women. And I just want to say congratulations to all of you. I love coming out and watching all the competition. I love even more seeing you all advance to colleges. And I have a daughter trying out for a D1 team this weekend, so keep your fingers crossed for her. But it's just great to see all the wonderful things you're doing. And Hallie, this comment's for you. Cheer and stunts are sports. Because too many people don't realize. I want to say, in fact, I think I'm a little prejudiced because all my kids, even my son, were cheerleaders, and 3 of them were in stunt. Stunt takes more athletic ability than I think any other sport I've seen. I can't believe what you guys do. It's crazy. And luckily, Hallie's going to Jessup, where I teach, so I'm going to see her perform a lot next year. But congratulations. Keep doing it. Keep encouraging your friends and family members to get involved and get out there and compete. You guys are doing a great job.
I also just want to say thank you for being here. I know that it's a busy time, end of year, and sports, to celebrate the sports and women. I have 2 daughters. I played sports in high school and college, and it's a lifelong skill, and just the camaraderie. I know it's so important to all of you, and it really makes your high school and college years. So congratulations.
Yeah, and I just want to thank Dr. Robson for putting this together. Miss Donnell and I had the opportunity to participate in the state CIF Title IX celebration, and the opportunity to meet some individuals who were the advocates back in the early 70s to make all this happen, and to hear their stories of the fight of what it took to stand up to an establishment at the time that did not want to see this happen, and to see them still today, 50 years later, advocating, and then seeing the results just the sample size here, but to see the results of it is amazing. And even more so in the work, and I know Ms. Donnell's a part of, is we still have more work to do. So although we're celebrating 50 years, we still have more work to do, and we're going to continue to do that. This board has advocated for that, and people like Dr. Dobson and Ms. Donnell are advocates behind the scenes, working daily to make sure you have everything you need to be successful as an athlete. And as a former athlete, that's what's got me where I am today. And I know everything that goes into that. And so I'm just proud of each and every one of you. I'm glad you were here. I'm glad we were able to have our little mark on this celebration because it is a big deal. And again, I'm just very grateful this was put together and that we could have a little bit of time to celebrate this in our community. So thank you to everyone involved in this.
All right. I think if you want to go, you can go. Or you can sit through the rest of the board meeting. It's wonderful having you here.
Bye.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Right. That was so good. Good one. It's a good one. All right, item 5.2, do we have an RSCA report? Yes. Oh, there she is. Yes. Ah.
Actually, I'm glad that Karen spoke because I'm going to tie into something that Karen said as well. All right. So it is incredible to think about how we are already close to the end of the school year. I have to admit, I am happy to close the door on this one. Don't get me wrong, I have loved having kids back in the classroom and not having to teach on Zoom. Trust me, it's really fun. Returning to more normal activities and energy on campus, and even experiencing live events like school musicals. I have gone to 3 different school campuses and their musicals. I saw April at West Park for Bring It On. I went to Wood Creeks for Footloose, amazing. And then Roseville's for the student-directed Seussical. Each one showcased the amazing student and faculty talent we have in our school districts. Sports teams across the district are doing fantastic. We just saw the Title IX presentation. They really are doing amazing things. We are seeing the celebrations of success among multiple programs. The ELD classes at Roseville went on a bonding trip to Quarry Park to celebrate their successes. They even did like the zip line and stuff I would not do. And Avid Senior Night is coming up on the 26th. The AMAs across the district, senior nights, graduation ceremonies, and the list goes on. Following up from our last board meeting and the concern raised about the declining population of some schools in our district, RSCA would like to have a discussion on our district and board's ways to address that concern. What is the vision our district has for its schools? Each site has a specific vision, but what does our district see for all of us? That articulated vision ties into the discussion on how to help address the declining enrollment at various sites within the district and meeting the needs of those schools to ensure they are sustainable moving forward. Another question to consider, what happens when a school suddenly sees a spike in students attending after staffing has been cut due to projected declining enrollment numbers? Some sites see a late bounce, usually due to an increase in enrollments come August. These schools have already lost faculty and have larger class sizes as a result. However, newly incoming students will push class sizes up even more. For example, let's say World Studies classes have been scheduled to hold 40 students for every section, then 20 new sophomores show up. Where are they going to push into? Those are already full classes, making them 42 to 43 kids per class average. Is that fair to our students? We all know that large class sizes impact student learning and the ability of teachers to help those students who are struggling. Please, we really need to have this conversation sooner rather than later, be proactive, not retroactive, to help put together plans to address the declining enrollment, unanticipated attendance spikes, and how to help support our schools currently facing these issues. Thank you. And then just FYI, I will not be here for the next couple meetings, so you are safe from me. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the report, Ms. Forkin. Thank you for representing the RSCA at all the meetings this year and providing your input and feedback on behalf of the RSCA.
Thank you.
All right. I'm going to move on to action matters, but I'm going to pull, let's see, we wanted 4.16. Is that correct? We'll pull that first. And Marla,
Yes.
let's talk.
Yeah, I had a few comments. Right now we're advertising, okay, I am one. We're advertising that that has changed. Yet because we have lost the Carnegie textbook curriculum, IM 2 and 3 next year is also in transition. And it wasn't until today when I realized that my assumption was IM 2 and IM 3 was the old IM 2 and 3, but it's really in transition also to the new curriculum. And I'm wondering how to communicate that properly. So I'm not against approving, but I feel like we're representing it incorrectly. And I don't know if we want to, I don't know quite how we discuss it or how we, do teachers just address it at back to school night and try to communicate that way, or do we need to give parents a heads up that all of the math curriculum has changed? And it's just that awkward, it's not final, but your kids will be taught something. And I was assured that there shouldn't be any issues. So just how can we confidently communicate that? Another issue, I'll just, and forgive me, I can't pull up all my slides. Yes, that's what, okay, the IB sports and exercise. The document says that the SL is a requirement, the prerequisite for the HL. But April, you mentioned that it's really a one or the other. So the expectation is that the students won't be taking SL first and then move on to HL. Is that correct?
Yes, that's what I had clarified today. So that would be like a minor edit that we would make.
Okay, so
If you
so
still
we need
chose to approve, we would
we need
we
to
would
change that
correct
so it's clear.
Yes.
Okay. And then I had a question on that. You mentioned that the IB sports is one of the most popular IB classes at Granite Bay. And now that we've added the HL, are we adding more classes, or are we just meaning, will there be 6 classes in 1 year that's offered, or because we've added the HL, are there 8 now? So can we accommodate more students?
Great question. So what is on the agenda today is just simply to add the course to our pool of courses, and then the actual assignment and master scheduling is left to the school, and it is based on student need and want. So your action would allow the course to be offered, and then the school would go based on course requests, so the student needs and wants, and build a master schedule also incorporating existing staffing. So we were not planning to hire new folks, but they may be adjusting, and I can get back to you with more details, but I don't have all those right now.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How much of like the courses from like IM1, IM2, IM3 are being changed, and why are they being changed?
Great question. And these are some of those conversations that we're also happy to have offline or in other places. So as for the instructional materials, we've adopted Carnegie, and that's what we've been using for over 6 years. But that contract is up, and actually it was up a couple years ago. So we did a 1-year kind of get through this year while we paused and made sure we were making the best decision for our students. But as our teachers have been implementing the Carnegie textbook and instructional materials, they found that there are other materials that are more up to date and potentially better suited to support our students with learning math. And so that is the main impetus. However, I will say that through our continuous school improvement process and looking at data, we see that there's areas for growth and improvement. So that's part of it. We want to better support our students. So the materials are part of it. And when we change materials, we update the course to match and grow. So Ms. France is correct. We're not anticipating a difference of vertical alignment. We're wanting to better support students in each of the courses. And although we're asking for approval of Integrated Math 1 at this point, all 3 levels have been working together and outlining it. So we have the whole plan, but they decided to prioritize this level first, and they will continue working on. So those aren't starting from scratch. They're already outlined, but they just weren't all ready at the same time. what I'm trying to understand is that you are in agreement
So,
with all of this,
I
but you
think
want
so.
you
I
want some
think-
information about communication.
I think we need to talk about how we're communicating because the impression is IM2 and IM3, since it's not being advertised as officially rolled out and changed, I assumed it was the old material. It's just because it wasn't highlighted as a changed course yet. IM2 is being officially rolled out spring of 2023, and then IM3 is rolled out as fall of 2023. But we really are giving our students a different class.
The class is the same. The materials are in transition, right?
It's a transition.
So yeah, so and we can certainly provide information. So that's something that
maybe
we'll.
it's during the reading, which we already approved, was the 4.15.
Yes.
Maybe that's where we communicate. This is not just IM1. This is IM1, 2, and 3.
Mhm. Great point. We can clarify that on the first reading. Yeah, these are the instructional materials
we need to be upfront with what
for all
we've done.
three. You know, and I've talked with some other board members, if I may just add, that I think in general we can do a better job with communication. So these are some of the things we're working on and messaging, to the point where we've talked about even at the first week of classes as math teachers, you know, we could have some consistent talking points. So we're working right now. In fact, it may have already gone out at some schools, but we released last week data science messaging to principals. And so I think in this week or in the next few days, those are going out to the families and students who've selected it for next year, just to make sure they're fully informed to many of the things that we've talked about, you know, last time. So we could easily add to this. What we're trying to do is streamline so there's some consistent messaging, clarification, so that our families are as informed as possible. And so I appreciate that feedback. And if I may, I also got clarification, and thank you to Ms. Layton. So the way IB works, and she has some experience with this too, HL and SL courses are often rostered at the same time. So the students actually might be in the same class with the teacher at the same time. And one is a deeper level, so they had 7 more units. So you'll see in there they have other things that they're going deeper with. But because there's also the same core, they could be 25 students of one and 5 students in another level, and they're selecting which level they're wanting to be in. And so that's how they're usually structured in a master schedule, unless we have so many students, we have pure classes, and we can do that too.
So it may not need additional teachers.
Correct.
Staffing.
Yep. So thank you for that clarification.
Would you like to make a motion to accept?
I'll make
it?
a motion to accept.
With that one.
With the
amendment.
With
HL.
that one amendment, yes.
HLSL
Yes.
correction.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second on item 4.16. All in favor, please say yes. Yes? Okay, motion passes. Thank you. All right, action item 6.1.
Motion approved.
Okay, item 6.1, I have a motion to approve. There's a second. Is there any discussion on this? All right, there's a motion and a second. All in favor, please say yes.
It's a resolution, right?
Oh, it's a resolution. Darn it. It's getting so good.
Pete Constant,
Yep.
Marla Franz,
Yes.
and Julie Hirota.
Yes. Okay, motion passes. Thank you. Item 6.2, computers and monitors for CTA program purchase.
Yes, so this item is the key point here is this is out of our CTE incentive grant, which we receive ongoing funding from the state of California to go towards our CTE programs. And a lot of this funding is used for purchases like this, where we're updating and making sure we have the latest equipment for our CTE classrooms. And so if you see in the packet, we're purchasing higher level computers that are going to be used in multiple classrooms throughout the district, as well as for the growth at West Park as they're just getting some of their programs started. And so the totality of this purchase for computers is $635,000, and staff recommends approval.
Any questions? Discussion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion to approve. A second. All in favor, please say yes.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, motion approved. Item 6.3, stadium support.
Yes, so this is a fun project that we've been working on for a number of years. This was one of the last couple big projects from Measure D promises, where we would build a stadium support building at each one of our comprehensive sites, so that way we had a standard across the district. Right now, we just had one at West Park when it was built, and a hodgepodge of other buildings throughout the district. Most of them were booster paid projects, so maybe trailers. Antelope had no such building and so they're bringing in porta potties, and so this was really to kind of standardize this throughout the district, provide a facility that would stand the test of time, provide for ticketing, restrooms for both home and away, as well as concessions for both home and away. And so if approved, we went out to bid with our final design. You see the 3 bids, and staff recommends approval of the low bid to Burco Constructors in the amount of $13.9 million. This project we'd be starting to work and phasing these out over the next year, with the goal of completion of all of these buildings by the start of next school year. So next being the 23-24, not this coming fall, but the following year. Yeah, it takes a long time to build, but some of them may be done partway through the year, depending on how they're able to work it out. But it's a project that all the sites are excited for, and it's exciting too because the families and students, they really get to utilize and see these projects.
Good bathrooms and snack bars everywhere. Wouldn't that be nice?
I have a question.
Yeah, any questions? Go ahead.
Slightly off topic, but sort of on topic.
Mm-hmm.
When are we gonna be able to address the stadium bleacher problems here at Oakmont?
I can bring that up. We can talk about that maybe in the the facilities committee. We've talked about a little. I know our maintenance director has looked at and tried to do some short-term solutions, but really to try to improve safety. But in the long term, it's needing a very big project, which it gets pretty expensive, as you see, $13.9 million here. But to address it long term, and we have similar issues at Roseville High School with their bleachers are in pretty bad shape as well. So as you see, some head nods in the crowd. So
I just worry about the short-term problems because I've seen so many people fall, including myself. But anyway, it's just a question since we're talking about stadium stuff. So
yeah, no, it's definitely on our radar, and we've been trying to find short-term areas to lessen the potential liability, but knowing that we need to come up with a long-term solution.
those little child soft corners would help.
Yeah. Bubble wrap on the ground.
I'll make a motion to approve.
No.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion to approve and second from Marla. All in favor of the $13 million project, please say yes.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, motion approved. And 6.4, security cameras at Wood Creek.
Yep, not as high as a dollar amount, but we a number of years ago we did security cameras across the district, and little by little we've been kind of doing some additions as we noticed we had certain blind spots, throughout the sites, and so we set aside some money to address some of those at each of the sites, and this is one at Wood Creek. We're also currently working on some improvements at Antelope that we hope to do this summer, where we can increase safety there. So this is a project. The total amount is $52,000 to add, I believe it's 7 new cameras at Wood Creek High School.
Any questions? Questions out there? No questions? Can I have a motion to approve? All right, I have a motion and second. Mr. Constant. All in favor, please say yes.
Yep.
Yes. Okay, 6.4 approved. I do have a question for Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Are we returning to closed session, do you think?
We can. I don't have a whole lot more information, but I think it would probably be good for a few minutes if the
So
board
we'll
is
return to
willing.
closed session for a few minutes following this meeting. Okay, thank you. All right. Item 7.1, next regularly scheduled meeting is May 26th. This is going to be here.
Yeah.
So I do have to announce my absence because my son is doing a jazz performance at Wood Creek. So I'm going to that.
More of a workshop. The 23rd.
It's very important.
Yep.
23rd.
Yeah, and we have an LCAP workshop
Oh,
on the 23rd.
and we have an LCAP workshop on the 23rd, and that is here also? That is here also. Very exciting. Thank you for that. 7.2 pending agenda items are listed on item 7.2. And I'll move to 8.1 board and staff comments. I will start with Brett. No, this way. I don't know which way we normally do this. I'm going to start with you. I'm going to start with you.
First of all, I'd like to thank Dr. Dobson for shining a light on Title IX, where we've come, and the fact that we still need more work to do. And we just have some incredible young women student athletes, as well as coaches and athletic directors. Dr. Dobson's done a great job this year working with our athletic directors. For me personally, it was nice to hear Miss Donnell's story, having grown up with her, and hearing that story again, and just knowing how successful she was as a student athlete, and just watching her journey as a teacher and a coach, and now an assistant principal in the district's been pretty fantastic. Last Thursday, we got to celebrate our retirees. We have 26 retirees this year, and just was nice to celebrate them and to talk about their time and their contribution to the district. So it's one of my favorite events every year. So thank you for allowing us to do that every year.
Dr. Moore?
Thank you. I'd like to echo those comments of Dr. Dobson and the team today. How wonderful. And as our student board members shared, getting to the celebrations of the year, I'm enjoying as I wrap up my first year here and seeing the AMAs and just all the wonderful things going on. I'm going to as many as possible. Some are overlapping, and so I'm not getting to every single thing out there, but I'm certainly trying. I'm looking forward to the Poetry Cafe coming at Roseville High School, student creative writing projects being presented coming up soon, and just so many wonderful things. And also did want to put a plug out. I just appreciate the community participation in today's meeting. If the next 3 meetings, we have opportunities to share the journey we've been on in the local control accountability planning process. And it has been a year-long process with a variety of voices and participation. Elizabeth Kirkman, Brandon Dolan, they're both on our student representatives of our committees as well. And so May 23rd is when we're anticipating a board workshop, really just spelling out what that process is, showing the data, and explaining how we got to the plan that we're going to be bringing forward. May 26th is the public hearing, and then June 9th is when we're submitting for approval. So just really encourage anybody who maybe hasn't been along the journey and is interested to join us on the 23rd, where you can kind of see it in more detail. Thank you.
I just wanted to make a quick comment of just thank Melanie and the group who did that, because just seeing my daughter this last year, I'm just so thankful for the progress we've made. I just think of 50 years ago, my daughter wouldn't have had all the opportunity she has now, and seeing how she's been doing so great in sports and how she's like getting these great friendships, and I don't know. I'm just thankful after seeing all that today. So that's it.
Superintendent Becker.
Same with Brad and his comments about the retirement reception. That was well done, and it was nice to honor our retirement class of 2022. And again, the Title IX celebration, near and dear to my heart, especially as outside of this in my work with CIF. This is something really special to us, and a lot of people have worked really hard on it, and will continue to work really hard on it. And as Trustee Constant said, stunt's one of my favorite things. I was part of the team that put together the first unofficial state championship for stunt before CIF took it over, and was a proud voting member to make that declared a sport. And if anybody's watched a stunt competition, I don't know how they judge it still, but it is cool to watch. And it is really competitive and a lot of fun. And then really I just wanted to recognize, don't get a lot of emails that sound like this, but recognize Principal Bell and her team over there. Got a really nice email from a family when their child was having some struggles at school. And in the email, it just says, the silver lining in the story is the kindness, care, and compassion that the faculty and administration showed my daughter and my family. They went far beyond the call of duty to stay in contact with her and support her. She has turned the corner and heading in the right direction. It's one sample, but recognize Principal Bell and her team over there for doing that, and it's much appreciated. So.
Yeah. So I've done this 3 times now, and as the board knows, I always like to thank them for allowing me to be up here. Yeah, but thank you guys for having me up here again. And Mr. Becker, thank you for always reaching out to me, even when I don't respond to my emails. You always make sure to follow up, and I do appreciate that. And also, thank you again for this award. It was very honoring to be able to be up here and to get this award. I'm gonna go show my mom and dad once they get home.
Yeah, put it up next to your dad.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, but thanks again. This has really been a very honoring experience to be up here the few times I have. I've really been grateful for this because I know not a lot of students go through Granite Bay and get this chance or this opportunity to be up here with you guys. So I really do appreciate it. So thanks to you guys.
I'm just really appreciative of the last 2 years and being able to be a part of something that's really cool. I think it's just something that's very special. Not a lot of people get to do this and be able to create relationships with people, and I'm excited for the future because I do want to be in education. So I hope one day I can be somewhere where you guys are. So I'm very admirable of you all. So thank you so much for providing this opportunity for me and just being so wonderful.
I also want to acknowledge how appreciative I am for the sport programs we have at this district, because I think it saved my daughter freshman year in the shutdown because she was able to socially distance and go run with the cross country team. And that consistency was everything for her. So it makes a huge impact. I also want to share, today I went to Roseville High School and enjoyed a lovely tour showing some highlights of their ceramics and their culinary facilities. But what tugged at my heart was I saw Avid, and it sounds like an amazing program. I just got a glimpse of it. What I was able to witness in the 12th graders, they were working on their posters to demonstrate where they were freshman year and where they are now. And I saw words like depressed, anxious, lost, and they flip it over and they say, and I'm celebrating because now I'm going to this college, or now I'm going to be a nurse. And they were preparing for a presentation for the 26th, which of course we have a board meeting and it's somewhere else. And at first I thought it would be here. And so this is a pitch for, if we can get a video or some sort of way to have some of these kids come in and share their posters, it tugged my heart. And so I think it'd be fabulous if we could celebrate that.
First, I want to thank you too. We're gonna miss you, but we know you're off to much bigger and much better things. So have fun in your endeavors next year. I had a chance to go spend some time at Adelante today. I always enjoy getting out there and visiting the school and kind of seeing the successes they're having and also the challenges they're facing. And so it's very heartwarming to do that. What else? Spent some time with some of our SROs talking about our leading position in the behavioral threat assessment movement or field, and looking forward to, in my other career at William Jessup, partnering with them to bring that program to a much broader audience so that other districts and educators, both secondary and college level educational institutions, can model what we've done and have a better understanding of those issues that we need to be on the lookout for. So just glad that we've had the opportunity to do that. Also just thankful for the district. I have one of my kids graduating from college this weekend, a year early, and she's able to do that because our schools here, particularly Oakmont right next door, prepared her so well to be able to do so. I'm assuming this is Monique from last night's dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I want to acknowledge another one of our great students, opened up a business and fed us last night and did a great job, because we're teaching our kids so many great things. So I think that's about it.
Thank you. And again, just to recap, the Title IX presentation was fantastic. Thank you for that. And I really do believe, Roseville Joint Union High School District has amazing athletic program. And I also want to recognize and acknowledge one more time Mr. Becker as the president-elect, right, for CIF. I don't know what that means entirely that you're going to be doing there, but I trust that it will bring more greatness to the athletics that are here, and as you have done for our district since you've been here, because you've been so involved in CIF, and I think it makes our program even better. So that is very exciting. And then also, thank you both again for your participation and your dedication, because it takes time to be here. And I will invite you to become an elected school board member at some point in the future, since you know what it's all about. And because we need informed people in these seats, we need people who care. And you, as volunteers to do this, means you care and you know something about it. So thank you so much for all you do.
As long as you're not challenging us for our seats.
Go for it. You go for it. I invite you.
No, I think when it comes to that time.
It will, yeah.
It looks like rotate for us.
I think she just called me old, but that's
Okay. Hopefully you're on to better.
Let's just say I'm not only the same age as Title IX, I'm a lot older.
You know what? You guys would be great board members, and it would be lovely if Roseville Joint could have people like you to serve on the board in the future, or wherever you end up going. So thank you. And with that, I want to adjourn this meeting and go to closed session. So thank you. Good night.